What if the vast ocean cut off a piece of land and accidentally gave birth to entirely mysterious worlds with beautifully evolved ecosystems? Today we invite you on a grand cinematic expedition to explore 12 lands that seem to not belong to Earth, where time freely creates landscapes bearing the deep marks of distant planets. To fully capture the magnificent beauty in the most treacherous locations, some camera angles in this film have been gently enhanced with digital artistry to bring you the most immersive visual experience. Please prepare your senses to witness the absolute majesty of nature and let your soul drift with every beat of the ocean waves as we step into the most solitary masterpieces on the planet. Socotra Island, Yemen. We begin our journey at a remote island possessing bizarre vegetation, exactly like an alien dream that has undergone millions of years of evolution in absolute isolation. The greatest symbol of the island is the ancient dragon blood trees with wide canopies looking exactly like flying saucers rooted in the dry ground. Amidst this untouched nature, you might encounter indigenous people who have lived their entire lives in ancient caves and used the dark red resin of the dragon blood tree to heal their wounds. Along with that is the breathtaking sight of wild dolphins freely hunting near the shore, creating a miraculous portrait of survival. Wandering through this misty valley and touching the rough tree bark brings a profound sense of peace as you witness the miracle of life amidst a harsh environment. Faroe Islands, Denmark. Drifting toward the freezing northern Atlantic Ocean, we are overwhelmed by one of the greatest optical illusions of the natural world. Perched precariously on top of vertical cliffs is a massive freshwater lake that appears to hover, defying all laws of gravity right above the churning white ocean. During the summer, this treeless land becomes a vibrant ecological paradise as millions of seabirds gather here to breed among the lush green meadows where sheep peacefully graze. The intense contrast between the tranquil lake surface and the furious waves crashing against the cliffs creates a breathtaking visual masterpiece far beyond human imagination. When the water overflows the rocky edge and violently roars down into the deep ocean, that majestic scene truly leaves any passionate traveler completely breathless. Vadhu Island, Maldives. Venturing into the incredibly warm tropical seas, we discover a magical beach capable of transforming into a brilliant glowing galaxy as night falls. Billions of tiny single-celled organisms collectively illuminate the entire shallow water with a mystical neon blue light whenever the waves gently crash onto the sandy shore. This miraculous natural bioluminescent system creates a sparkling tapestry of stars that perfectly blends with the vast night sky of the boundless ocean. Walking on the glowing sand and letting the magical water caress your feet will bring you a deeply poetic and absolutely healing travel experience. The pure silence of the night combined with this mysterious blue light will surely wash away all your worries and return your soul to its most pristine purity. Is there a spectacular destination you have always deeply longed to visit, but have not yet had the opportunity to make a reality? Please share your unfulfilled travel dreams in the comments below so we can bring them to life on screen together. Mock Island, Palau, hidden deep within a dense archipelago, is an incredibly still saltwater lake that has been completely isolated from the ocean for over 12,000 years. This permanent separation from the vast sea created a spectacular biological miracle as millions of golden jellyfish evolved to completely lose their natural venom. Every day, this giant swarm of jellyfish peacefully drifts, following the trajectory of the sunlight, creating a rhythmic dance beneath the crystal clear water, just like a foggy dream. Swimming among millions of these glowing and harmless creatures brings an endless feeling of freedom, as if you are floating among fluffy clouds at the bottom of the water. The absolute peace of this isolated lake proves that sometimes separation is the most perfect protective embrace Mother Nature can offer her fragile creatures. Hidden Beach, Mexico. Crossing the ocean to the sunlit American waters, we find a secret oasis neatly tucked inside a massive sinkhole pointing directly toward the sky. Looking exactly like a giant eye of the earth, this natural stone dome carefully shelters a smooth white sand beach and incredibly still turquoise water. Only accessible through a secret flooded tunnel, the journey to find this hidden beach brings a thrilling sense of excitement for souls thirsting for adventure. The sturdy embrace of the ancient limestone cliffs has turned this place into an absolute sanctuary, completely isolated from the violent storms of the outside world. Bathing in the radiant sunlight piercing through the majestic dome is a priceless gift that heals and revitalizes every traveler after a long journey. Avenue of the Baobabs, Madagascar. Entering a wild land that seems to belong to another planet, we are completely overwhelmed by giant trees shaped as if they were planted upside down. This vast savanna was once the home of the greatest giant elephant birds in history, but now only these resilient trees remain standing guard under the fiery sky. miraculously surviving through thousands of years of history, these ancient giants reach as high as a 10-story building and have the capacity to store thousands of gallons of life-saving water. Today you will see gentle local people relying on the shade of the ancient trees and silently preserving a primitive rhythm of life from 1,000 generations ago. Watching their towering silhouettes boldly printed against the brilliant sunset sky is truly an unmatched visual privilege that every photographer wishes to capture in their lens. Hashima Island, Japan. Moving away from the beauty of wild nature, we face a bizarre concrete island rising from the ocean exactly like a massive military battleship. Once one of the most densely populated places on Earth, where thousands of coal miners crowded together, this entire settlement was abruptly abandoned. The crumbling concrete walls and thousands of empty windows are now haunting ruins of the sudden rise and fall of a glorious industrial era. Walking along the desolate roads filled with heavy ocean wind brings a profoundly deep experience regarding the fragility of the great civilizations built by human hands. Standing in the middle of this silent ghost city reminds us of the devastating power of time and how nature is quietly but persistently reclaiming her dominance. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Returning to the windy coast of the United Kingdom, we step onto a mystical stone matrix that looks exactly like a man-made architectural structure. Over 40,000 hexagonal basalt columns fit together so perfectly that they create the strong illusion of a masterpiece carved by supernatural hands. Romantic local folklore tells that this is the grand remnant of a massive road built by an ancient giant to cross the ocean and battle his legendary enemy. From a scientific perspective, the boiling lava cracked into these perfect geometric shapes when it suddenly met the freezing seawater 60 million years ago. Wandering on these ancient stone blocks and listening to the roaring ocean waves brings an incredibly majestic experience that perfectly blends mythology and geology. Have you ever stood before a natural landscape so magnificent that it left you completely silent and speechless? Please tell us your most unforgettable travel memory in the comments below as we continue this epic exploration. Easter Island, Chile. Our grand journey takes us to the most isolated inhabited land on the entire planet, resting alone amidst the endless expanse of the Pacific Ocean. This volcanic island proudly preserves one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of humanity, created by the very hands of courageous indigenous people. History remains forever amazed at how ancient citizens moved thousands of giant stone statues along the windy shores without the need for any modern machinery. Their descendants today still continue to live on the island, strongly preserving their diverse culture and silently protecting the priceless heritage of their ancestors. Standing under the shadow of these solemnly majestic statues makes travelers feel their own smallness and a sacred historical depth that cannot be measured by years. Aogashima Island, Japan. Continuing our exploration of the vast ocean, we discover a miraculous miniature world completely hidden inside the mouth of a sleeping volcano. Far from the rushed noise of modern civilization, this tropical island proudly possesses an extremely rare double volcano structure, along with vertical cliffs that shield it from storms. Inside that massive crater is a small and peaceful community of residents living unhurriedly alongside stray cats, warming themselves near natural geothermal vents. Life passes incredibly slowly as the indigenous people prepare delicious fresh fish sushi by hand and completely merge their rhythm of life with primitive natural power. Camping under the brilliant night sky here and listening to the breath of the earth brings a perfect escape that returns the human soul to its purest values. Christmas Island, Australia. Our magnificent journey concludes at an isolated land in the Indian Ocean, privileged to witness the most spectacular migration miracle in the biological world. Whenever the heavy early season rains pour down, over 50 million bright red crabs wake up simultaneously and begin an arduous journey toward the sea. All the paved roads and deep green forests seem to be covered by a vibrant living red carpet, constantly moving in rhythm to the fierce call of survival instinct. The local people deeply respect this event by voluntarily closing many traffic routes to yield an absolutely safe path for these brave little creatures. This spectacular natural event is a highly poetic affirmation that the flame of life always knows how to burst brightest even in the most isolated and harsh places.
Hidden deep within the massive rift valley of the vast Siberian region lies the greatest freshwater body in the world, plunging to an astonishing depth of 5,387 feet. Try to imagine that you could submerge all the most magnificent skyscrapers of the United States into the bottom of this lake, and you still would not touch its ultimate limit. During the freezing months, its surface area of 12,248 square miles is locked tight beneath a massive sheet of ice as clear as a crystal prism. An aerial camera angle will take you soaring over cracked ice ridges, rising dozens of feet high, like sharp swords piercing the silent sky. The journey gliding across this endless expanse of ice brings a feeling of ultimate freedom that makes your mind completely lost in an unprecedented, epic world. This treacherous mountain pass stretches across the majestic Caucasus Mountains, creating a colossal, natural boundary that isolates the desolate sky from the grey, rocky valleys. Perched precariously at an altitude of thousands of feet above sea level. The air here always remains piercingly cold, even when the world below is drowning in a fiery furnace. Steering a vehicle across the fragile strip of asphalt suspended on the edge of this deep abyss is a breathtaking journey that challenges the courage of any traveler. The thin and piercingly cold air wraps around sharp cliffs, rising into absolute silence, completely devoid of a single footprint of human life. The brutally majestic scale of a road trip suspended in midair is the perfect cooling remedy, allowing your soul to drift alongside the frozen clouds. This pristine archipelago, located on the edge of the Arctic Circle, is the perfect embodiment of a world left behind, offering an overwhelming sense of absolute isolation. Massive glaciers and endless expanses of white snow stretch out to cover the entire 23,561 square miles of this sacred land. The experience of soaring over this colossal space feels like an expedition to find the very end of the Earth, where time seems to be permanently frozen. The only sound breaking the silence is the crack of massive ice blocks, weighing millions of pounds, crashing down into the dark waters, bringing the tremors of nature. Standing before the endless immensity of this distant, extreme north, you will find a quiet escape, separating yourself completely from the sweltering era surrounding the modern world. Have you ever felt a profound sense of isolation and peace in a snowy landscape during your past travels? Please let me know in the comments if this frozen wilderness brings back any cherished memories for you. The Great American Wilderness opens up to reveal a colossal natural masterpiece featuring a towering peak that proudly pierces the thick clouds at 20,310 feet. Temperatures in this sacred realm consistently remain at harsh, freezing levels to perfectly preserve ancient glaciers that have silently shifted through thousands of unseen centuries. The absolute silence of the pine forests buried beneath thick layers of snow brings a feeling of majestic solitude along this mountain exploration journey. Every biting gust of wind carries tiny snowflakes, swirling blindly through the air, creating a white curtain that obscures all traces of rushed modern civilization. The colossal scale of this space provides an overwhelming experience, making us realize our own breathtaking smallness in the face of the ultimate limits of nature. The next destination is a sacred land in the southernmost extreme of the Americas, possessing a mighty glacier stretching toward a freezing lake of crystal clear blue water. A massive wall of ice, standing 240 feet tall, rises like a natural fortress holding ancient secrets from an ice age that has faded into oblivion. The continuous movement of this frozen river creates a terrifying pressure, causing chunks of ice weighing thousands of pounds to shatter and plunge into the still waters. Thunderous sounds echoing from the deep crevices beneath the glacier bring a dramatic and powerful atmosphere that makes everything around hold its breath in submission. The intense visual draw from the cold blue hues of this colossal ice formation is the absolute best purification for a mind yearning to return to cool origins. I would be delighted to know if you have ever witnessed the majestic power of a carving glacier in person. Feel free to share your unique stories below as we continue our epic journey through these frozen giants. The Bajau Lot, Southeast Asia. We begin our aquatic journey in the vibrant coral reefs of the tropical seas, where an extraordinary nomadic tribe has evolved to live entirely on the ocean. These legendary sea nomads spend their entire lives on traditional wooden houseboats or in stilt houses, hovering just above the crystal clear shallow waters. Remarkably, they possess a unique physical adaptation, allowing them to dive up to 50 feet deep into the ocean to hunt. their local cultural wisdom revolves around deep respect for the ocean spirits, acting as the ultimate guardians of the fragile coral ecosystems. They live in perfect harmony with the sea, passing down profound ancestral knowledge of the tides and marine life. Through captivating oral storytelling, to the resilient sea nomads, the ocean is not just a habitat, but a sacred living entity that requires deep spiritual reverence to ensure their continuous survival. Euro's floating islands, Peru. Traveling high into the remote mountain ranges, we discover an incredible community where over 500 resilient people reside on roughly 70 human-made floating platforms. These unique islands are woven entirely from dried reeds, tightly bound to form a massive base nearly 80 inches thick. Because the natural materials gradually rot over time, the entire foundation of their world must be meticulously replaced 4 times every single year. The cultural ingenuity here is astonishing, as locals use the reeds as traditional medicine and even steep the reed flowers to drink as a soothing tea. The traditional reed boats, crafted by the locals, are shaped with remarkable skill to navigate the vast waters while honoring ancient building techniques. They maintain a powerful communal bond, as families must work together continuously to prevent their floating homes from sinking back into the dark depths. Today, modern solar panels and a central radio station blend perfectly with their ancient ways, showcasing an unbelievable level of cultural preservation. Migingo Island, Lake Victoria. Journeying to the heart of the African continent, we encounter a densely packed iron fortress rising dramatically from the dark waters of a massive tropical lake. Covering less than half an acre, this tiny, rocky outcrop houses a fiercely independent fishing community bounded by extremely strict and complex territorial unwritten laws. The unbelievable density of this isolated island creates a unique microculture where hundreds of fishermen share every single resource in absolute proximity. Despite the extreme overcrowding, the residents have established an informal microeconomy where every inch of space is utilized for fish processing or lively small taverns. The island thrives on a fascinating blend of diverse regional cultures brought together by the highly lucrative local fishing trade. Living on this extremely crowded rock requires immense courage, as residents constantly battle fierce storms and defend their precious daily catch in total isolation. Ganvi, floating village, Benin. Deep within a massive coastal lagoon, lies a sprawling aquatic city, often proudly referred to as the Venice of the continent, holding over 20,000 residents. Centuries ago, the ancestors of this incredible community fled to the deep waters because local religious beliefs strictly forbade warriors from fighting on the sacred lake. Today, this deeply spiritual foundation sustains a bustling metropolis where vibrant floating markets operate entirely through a highly synchronized dance of wooden canoes. The local folklore is rich with beautiful tales of ancient crocodiles that are widely believed to have helped their ancestors build the first foundations in the deep water. Modern fishermen here still meticulously practice traditional net casting methods passed down through countless generations to maintain the delicate ecological balance of the lagoon. Gliding through this magnificent water city provides a mesmerizing glimpse into a society that turned a desperate, ancient escape into a permanent architectural and cultural triumph. Which of these incredible aquatic traditions fascinates your imagination the most so far? Please tell us in the comments below if you could imagine adapting your entire way of life to survive exclusively on the drifting water. KOH Pani, Thailand. Navigating through the towering limestone rock formations of the tropical sea, we discover a breathtaking fishing village built almost entirely on fragile wooden stilts. Constructed centuries ago by just 3 nomadic families, this magnificent floating settlement now houses nearly 2,000 deeply traditional and resilient people. The most spectacular cultural icon here is a floating sports pitch brilliantly built by local children using nothing but old scraps of wood and abandoned fishing rafts.
Let's go!
Community is deeply rooted in strong religious traditions, featuring a magnificent golden architectural structure that serves as the spiritual heart of the floating village. The daily call to prayer, gently echoing across the vast limestone cliffs, creates an incredibly mesmerizing and peaceful auditory experience for any visitor. The striking visual of these cultural domes rising above the vast network of wooden walkways creates a deeply poetic and unforgettable cinematic landscape. Famdi, floating islands, India. Venturing into the eastern corners of the continent, we witness a surreal natural phenomenon where massive circular islands of vegetation float freely on the lake's surface. These unique floating landmasses are formed by thousands of years of decomposing organic matter, creating a remarkably strong spongy surface. Local fishermen have built a completely unique lifestyle around these slowly moving islands, constructing temporary huts to harvest the rich aquatic resources. These unique circular masses are culturally vital as they provide a sacred, natural habitat for a highly endangered and graceful local deer species found nowhere else on Earth. The traditional harvesting festivals held on these shifting green islands joyfully celebrate the deep spiritual bond between the resilient local fishermen and the ancient lake. The hauntingly beautiful sight of these perfect green circles drifting silently across the misty morning water feels exactly like stepping into a deeply mystical dream world. Ethorn, Netherlands. Shifting our focus to the serene landscapes of Northern Europe, we arrive at a remarkably peaceful village, famously celebrated as the Venice of the North. This charming destination completely banned modern cars, relying entirely on electric whisper boats to navigate an extensive network of serene and wonderfully picturesque canals. Over 180 wooden bridges elegantly arch over the quiet waterways, connecting magnificent thatched roof cottages that look like classic fairy tales. Here, visitors can deeply immerse themselves in local culinary customs by enjoying traditional mini pancakes and rich syrup waffles along the serene water's edge. The village embraces a culture of absolute tranquility, where the loudest sound you might hear is the quiet hum of electric boats exploring the beautiful scenery. Residents take immense pride in their meticulously manicured flower gardens, which serve as a colorful, vibrant testament to their deep love for nature. Inle Lake, Myanmar. Traveling deep into the misty mountains, we find a vast, shallow lake that sustains a highly unique and deeply traditional floating society, completely isolated from modern distractions. The local inhabitants possess an extraordinary cultural practice of one-legged rowing, allowing them to stand tall and navigate while scanning the dense reeds for aquatic life. Entire agricultural networks of lush green floating tomato gardens are carefully pinned to the lake bottom, using long bamboo poles to survive the shifting water currents. The local artisans are incredibly famous for weaving delicate and highly valuable textiles using sacred fibers extracted directly from lotus flower stems. This sacred and labor-intensive craft produces exquisite garments that are traditionally offered to highly revered spiritual monks during special religious ceremonies. The breathtaking sight of ancient wooden monasteries hovering above the still water as the heavy morning fog rolls in creates an incredibly epic and spiritual visual experience. Tonal Sap, Cambodia. Deep within the heart of the tropical jungles lies a massive freshwater lake. completely transforming its incredible size and shape with the changing heavy monsoon seasons. To survive the dramatic rising floodwaters, entire communities have constructed ingenious floating homes that naturally rise and fall with the unpredictable rhythm of the lake. Spirit houses and local vibrant markets drift harmoniously across the vast expanse, creating a highly dynamic society that completely refuses to be bound to a single location. The floating villages feature incredibly unique mobile aquatic farms and floating livestock pens that perfectly adapt to the dramatically changing water levels. During the wet season, the entire community celebrates the miraculous reversal of the river flow, with vibrant boat racing festivals beautifully honoring the ancient water spirits. Witnessing this massive floating civilization adapting effortlessly to the extreme and terrifying forces of nature leaves a lasting impression of supreme human resilience. Nzelulezo, Ghana. Our grand aquatic journey concludes at an astonishing 400-year-old sacred settlement built entirely on wooden stilts, hovering above a deeply beautiful river. According to oral history, this remarkable community migrated from distant lands during the 14th and 15th century under the direct guidance of their spiritual gods. Hovering gracefully over dark water that reaches up to 20 feet deep, the resilient local residents learn to swim and paddle. Traditional canoes from as early as 4 years old. The community maintains a strictly organized, traditional leadership system where spiritual affairs are guided by the descendants of their original ancient chiefs. Every family honors a powerful crocodile totem, reflecting an ancient belief that these creatures peacefully guided their ancestors to this safe, watery haven. Every 5 years, the entire village unites in a sacred tradition to meticulously replace the foundational wooden stilts, ensuring their isolated home survives the test of time. The profound peace found in this deeply isolated river community provides a highly poetic and incredibly tranquil conclusion to our exploration of humanity thriving on the water.
As our cinematic journey across these mesmerizing islands comes to a close, we grow even more respectful of the great creative art of Mother Nature. Which secret world completely stole your heart during our spectacular visual expedition today? Please subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts below so we can proudly bring your next dream journey to life together.